Crude and Subtle Microvita. The 22nd of February, 1987, Calcutta. Microvitum is a very subtle being. Of the three types of microvita, the crude type are instrumental in emanating life throughout the cosmos. They create a stir within a physical structure. In the subsequent stages, through clash and cohesion, enormous changes take place in the physical structure. This process led to the emergence of the dinosaurs, mammals and finally intelligent human beings. Subtle microvita, which are too subtle to come within the scope of a highly developed microscope, are divided into two categories. One category functions within the world of perception through inferences such as sound, touch, form, taste and smell, and the other category functions directly within the subtler realm, that is, within the human mind. Those microvita which do not come within the scope of a microscope but come within the scope of inferences are known by their collective form and are called yaks. As they are perceived through inferential vibrations, their field of action is the human mind. They are instrumental in arousing the propensity to accumulate more and more wealth. Although this propensity has some spatial and personal necessity, it is mostly a psychic ailment. In most cases, this psychic ailment aroused by yaks is more fatal than the diseases called yaksma, such as tuberculosis or consumption. It has produced extremely vociferous tendencies in human society, and has led to the exploitation of one group of human beings by another group who feel elated to hear the lamentations of others. The overwhelming urge to acquire wealth, the urge for capitalism and the capitalist structure is based on this psychic ailment. It gives rise to the all-consuming and insatiable greed of capitalists. The collective name of the microvita which produce this disease in the human mind, in the human psyche, is called yaks. When a person devoid of any ideology becomes engrossed in the thought of accumulating wealth, yaks begin their frenetic dance in his or her mind. These yaks are one of the 7 types of devayonis. The others are gandharva, kinnara, vidya, dhara, videhaliina, prakrtiliina and siddha, which are the collective names of different categories of microvita. Gandharva microvita are the collective name of those microvita which arouse love for the fine arts in the human mind. They inspire people to cultivate the fine arts. They intoxicate the human mind and keep it absorbed in the rhythm and ideation of music and dance so that the thought of the external world gets suspended in the world of subtle ideation. The fine arts are known as gandharva vidya. When the human mind is exclusively preoccupied with ideating on music and dance, it means that the mind stuff has been totally captivated by these gandharvas. They connect the material world with the world of subtle ideation. This category of microvita functioning within the human mind are mostly of a friendly nature. They convey messages of the subtle world to human ears in this physical world, and by removing the darkness of crude ignorance, illuminate the human mind with a flood of divine effulgence. Kinnara microvita is that category of microvita which creates a thirst for beauty, a strong desire for beautification and decoration. The word kinnara means receptacle of beauty or a beautiful and graceful structure. This category of microvita creates a tendency in the human mind to make the human body as beautiful as the many forms and figures it observes in the external world. This tendency or propensity is called kinnarivti. If the kinnaras direct the mind towards crude matter instead of leading it towards the subtler layers, they are considered to be enemy microvita or negative microvita. And if the same microvita lead the mind towards purity and beautification, and then help merge the refined mind in the supreme entity, they are considered to be friend microvita or positive microvita. Next is vidya microvita, the collective name of those microvita which create a deep urge in the human mind to attain good qualities. Due to their internal urge and inspiration, human beings are able to acquire a vast wealth of accumulated qualities. If this urge is directed towards performing noble deeds and praising the divine qualities of Paramapurusha, then these microvita become instrumental in promoting human welfare and may be considered as friend microvita. If the same microvita create a tendency in the human mind to seek material gains such as name, fame, etc., they are considered as enemy microvita. The collective name of the category of microvita which causes human beings to rush headlong towards the crude pleasures of life is known as prakrtiliina. If human beings do not keep company with virtuous people or study elevating books, and if their minds are not saturated with love for the Supreme Entity, then this category of enemy microvita will infest their minds. Ultimately, the structure of those minds will be crudified, and through dogma they reach the nadir point of crudification. There is yet another category of microvita whose collective name is called videhaliina microvita. These microvita cause the human mind to rush from one place to another, and finally lead it away from Paramapurusha. They keep the human mind oblivious to the supreme purpose of life. Due to their inner thirst for material gain, they force the human mind to go around in circles, like bullocks trudging endlessly around an oil mill. They make the human mind restless, and by misdirecting it, throw it into utter confusion. The seventh and last type of microvita is known as siddha. Siddha is the collective name of those microvita which help in the domain of spirituality. These microvita enable the human mind to rise above the physical and psychic strata, and they guide it to the world of cognition. Those who already have an urge to develop the cognitive faculty are helped by these microvita to increase their urge more and more. Those who have a desire to embrace the life of a renunciate are inspired greatly by these microvita. Finally, they develop such an intense desire for that life that they leave their homes. Those who crave mystic realizations ultimately become enlightened beings. These siddha microvita convey the clarion call of the vast ocean of supreme consciousness deep into the minds of ordinary human beings who gaze at their tiny plots of land, and lead them towards the Supreme Entity. In fact, this type of microvita helps spiritual aspirants in various ways. Those who have come in contact with the siddhas and understand them say that the so-called Sankrta, the cosmic disk of the mythological god Vishnu, is nothing but the symbolic name of siddha microvita. Suppose a growing young man is playing cricket somewhere. In the middle of the game he has a sudden realization which causes a tremendous stir in his mind. He decides to renounce everything and goes out in search of something as yet unknown to him. This is the work of siddha microvita. A prince living in the midst of luxury suddenly adopts the life of a renunciate and searches for the cause of human misery. A small boy of 8 or 10 suddenly becomes restless for the acquisition of knowledge and decides to leave his family and move towards an unknown and as yet unrealized destination. These are all the result of the ceaseless activities of siddha microvita. Judging from the nature of these microvita, it is clear that they are not the creation of human beings. Nor is it possible for human beings to release them into the vast cosmos. Supermen cannot create these microvita, what to speak of ordinary human beings. Obviously, these microvita are emanations from the Supreme Entity. The 22nd of February, 1987, Calcutta. Published in Microvitam in a Nutshell, a compilation.